Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the deck. I believe we're live. I hope everybody can hear us. But if there's any issue with the sound, of course, let us know in the chat. We'll make sure to adjust as much as we can. Welcome back to the deck. It's been a while. I'm happy to be back, and I'm bringing back with me two special guests, which you might have seen before if you watched the deck last time. So my first guest today is obviously Naval Dravinsky, our senior producer. Naval, how are you?
Hello. I'm good. Welcome, everybody.
Second time on the deck. How do you feel?
I feel great. I mean, it's awesome getting to talk to you and the community. So, yeah, looking forward to the conversation.
All right, great. And my second guest for today is also somebody you probably have seen before. Mac, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Hi, everyone.
All right, I have a bit of an echo, so I'm just going to fix that very quickly.
Okay.
Try to fix that at least. I hope it gets better. Yeah, so thank you, Nevin and Matt, for being back on the deck with me. We have quite a lot of things to discuss today, and I believe you already jumped into the game. So, just a head start for everybody. We're going to be talking a lot about Season 2, but before that, we want to talk a bit about what happened in Season 1, what are the highlights that we've learned from Season 1. And as you can see, the background of the stream right now is essentially what Season 2 is all about. So before we jump into that, maybe Nevin, Mac, do you want to talk a little bit about your highlight from Season 1? What are the main things that you learned during Season 1 that you want to talk about? So Nevin, maybe you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Super loud in my headphones, so I'm going to take off one here. I think the biggest thing that I appreciated is how much we learned. You know, I think we can say Season 1 is a success, and we gathered a lot of data. We saw how people are consuming the game. And I think those changes are going to help us make a better game. You know, so you guys watching the stream, thank you for all the support and the hours put in, and yeah, looking forward to going on this journey with you as we talked about.
Yeah, so some of the things we've seen, obviously, since the launch is how players basically engage with the game, how they consume the content of the game. We've seen videos, for example, of people playing together to take on some of the challenges, the biggest challenges the game has to offer. Maybe you want to talk about this. I know Never and Mag, you've seen those videos, so maybe it's something you want to talk about as well.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I enjoy the most is watching our players play and seeing how they engage with the content. You know, so seeing like groups of 10 plus try to take down mega forts. You know, that's super exciting to watch. And those are the kind of engagements that we want to create. Right? We want to create more opportunities for these fun, amazing moments. So it's in the plan and it's in the works. So got a lot of work to do, but yeah, excited to see how the game evolves with the community.
Yeah, so for those who are watching us right now, the video that's playing in the background is actually a video we got from some of our insiders. So the first one was Velodrome, who played with a lot of other insiders. And I think it was like the first week or second week of launch, and they decided to group up together with 10 more people and basically took down one of the mega forts in the game. Likewise, we have a video from Spammels, who's also one of our insiders, who creates content on YouTube, who streams the game quite regularly. Same thing, grouping up with 10 plus people, taking down the forts. And right now we're seeing something that I think, Mac, we talked about for a very long time. Basically a group of people grouping up together again, but this time trying to take down the sea monster in a door. I think that was quite fun to watch as well.
Yep, absolutely. It's really great that the players are actually using the playground and Skull and Bones to actually create all these experiences together.
Sorry, I'm adjusting the microphones a little bit because I know there's some issues. So sorry
Oh,
in the
sorry.
chat. Yeah, sorry in the chat if you feel like the sound is not great. I don't know what's happening.
That's a bit loud, but yeah, we'll work through it. Yeah, I think the emergent gameplay is definitely exciting, right? Seeing those videos like the Dow, you know, assault on the sea monster. It's great to see how people are engaging in different ways, right? And I think trying to make these fun gameplay dynamics for people to explore definitely the focus. Super cool to see those things happen.
Yeah, and yeah, just to sum up a bit this part as well, a big shout out to all of those who went on to Reddit since the launch, since the open beta, since season 1 started. We've seen a lot of great posts from the community, either just being very supportive and very happy with where the game is, but also sharing a lot of positive and constructive feedback, more importantly. And Mike, I don't know if it's something you want to talk about, how a ton of feedback we got from the community basically helped us improve the game throughout season 1.
Definitely. I think, like as communicated in last live stream that we did, right? The issues like bringers, I think, at the start of the season, right? Including the balancing of try to make cargo a little bit fair, and some of the tweaks that were made. All right. Also adding things like open world PvP for players who really want to duke it out, pick a place, and just have their fun doing PvP with each other. And I'm also talking about like we did improve rewards on La Paz itself. Players who were like farming La Paz, doing the La Paz event itself, saying that the rewards were not good enough. And I would say a lot of the efforts in season 1 also pertaining to the end game itself, being not too balanced to the point where players were not feeling good, right? Spending a lot of time doing the collection of pieces of 8. So there were certain levels of tuning that were done, but like in season 2, we start to, improve on the in terms of features. I think my mic is not working too well.
Yeah, so it's
Can you hear me?
Yeah, they can hear you. They can hear you.
All right.
It's just breaking up a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm tuning the microphones to try to figure out why when I speak there's an echo, when you speak it cuts off. But I'll
Is this
figure it out
better?
eventually. It's better if you're close to the microphone, yes.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. No. So basically, yeah. Just to reinforce what you said. Season 1 for us, the plan was always to make sure we're going to be able to really listen to player feedback and react as quickly as possible on the things that we know we needed to tune or adjust slightly on the game balancing. You mentioned the rogues, the plague bringers is a good example of things. It took us a couple of tries to really get it right. But yeah, I think in general, it's all thanks to the community and all the great feedback we received on Discord, on Reddit, on social media that we were able to react as quickly and effectively as possible.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I didn't give anybody a warning, but I switched to the camera showing your games. I think this is you, Mac, playing. I'm not sure which ship you're actually playing right now.
So I'm playing the break with Naval. I'm actually using one of the new season 2 weapons, the spring loader.
So can you actually show it right now? Oh, there you go.
Oh, well, I have it over here.
Yeah,
So,
Devin can
so
show
I'm
what his
gonna
does.
launch the spring loader at this ship. Well, I took that one out. Sends out these mines, and you can see it's going to create some new gameplay opportunities. I think, especially in different kind of modes, right?
And my version is to use the spring loader to actually heal Nevin. This one. So it actually sets up this healing boy in the middle of the sea, and group members or teammates can actually go there and heal. This is pretty much the new weapon in season 2. So there is yet another variation that is based on fire and explosives.
So this is really quite a different kind of weapon as compared to everything we have in the game right now, right?
Yes, this is a new weapon type. We found that the arsenal, provided in the auxiliary slot of the ship itself, it's a little bit limited as of now, right? We only have the rockets or the mortars, so we wanted to add something else that's a little bit more, mid-range and provides the necessary support at times for players, especially for season 2's fight, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, you can see I'm using it on the ship here. Set some traps for it to run into.
So what I find quite interesting when I played it myself is that most of the weapons you have in the game is basically direct hit, right? You shoot at the target and you if you hit the target, you're gonna do damage.
Yep.
So it's pretty instant. This I feel is a lot more going towards a kind of like area controlling the area to make sure that you can prevent ships from going in the direction. So I imagine like in combination with other weapons, it can be quite tactical and strategic, right?
Definitely. The break was built as this support role, right? You can help to defend your teammates. You can use it to defend yourself. You can use it to actually attack enemy ships. You know, and like coupled with like one of the homing torpedoes, right? Again, thanks to the community's feedback about torpedoes not really being useful. I think this is the first like team's attempt, right, to actually make torpedoes a little bit better, and this is not the end of it, right, for torpedoes as well. The team is still currently working on even improvements on the torpedoes themselves. But this is actually a homing torpedo, so you can see like right now, if you actually fire, within a certain radius, it actually homes towards the ship.
So these are new weapons which hopefully will help players tackle the new main antagonist coming with Season
Definitely.
2.
So you can see like Nevin is kind of low on health, so I'm like throwing a boy or contraption there to heal him, right? Gotta hit Skull.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting as people figure this out with plunder and PvP opportunities. Like, it'll be cool to see how people react and come up with new ways to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anyways, so that was just a brief teaser on some of the stuff that's coming with Season 2. Now that the stream is started, hopefully most of you are online and ready to ask questions. I just want to give a bit of an overview of all the things we are intending to talk about today. So the first thing is obviously we wanted to go over Season 1, how it went for us, the key learnings we've had. Also give a big shout out to all of you, the community, for all the feedback and all the engagement we've seen throughout Season 1, which has helped us a great deal in improving the game and fixing bugs. And yeah, just adjusting the little things that we need to adjust to make sure Season 2 starts in a good place. A big second topic that we want to talk about is obviously some of the things that are coming with Season 2 that we feel will address some of the recurring feedback that you may have had while playing Season 1, right? And finally, because I also see a lot of questions on the chat, I know it's a topic that's been going on Reddit, on Discord, in the community for quite a while. We are also going to talk about what's going to happen at the end of Season 1 and the transition to Season 2. So if you're interested in all of these topics, please stay put with us, ask questions. We'll try to tackle them in due time, of course. So going back to some of the things that we're doing some of the things we did in Season 1, one of the key topics that I wanted to bring up as well is all the fact that when we launched the game and when Season 1 started, a lot of people started asking about more PvP. So I don't know, Mac, if you want to talk about some of the things we did to both adjusting the PvP in the game, but also adding more PvP?
I think I covered that point a little bit earlier, right? We added in the opt-in mode to do PvP wherever the players want to. But I think the issues with Cutthroat Cargo itself, in terms of fairness, we made some changes, right? Where players actually start off at the same point. And we were trying to see like, engagement in Cutthroat Cargo itself and also like helm wages as well. We tried to add certain limitations to make it a little bit more fair. I know there is still ongoing topics about like letting people fast travel to a point when people are close to their destinations and stuff. So there are still things in work as well by the team to try to address this issue a little bit further.
So like talking about Cutthroat Cargo, Haim Wager, is that still something that the team is looking at actively and balancing? Like, can you tell us more about that?
I think Nevin covered the point, right? Building the game together with community itself. I think for a live game itself, it's something that the team always have to keep on their radars, right, at all times, to ensure that like whatever content that we make, over time it becomes better and make sure it's fair and fun for the players. So, yeah, I mean, while working on new content, of course, for the upcoming seasons, but I think that is something that has ingrained into their DNA to try to tackle. So.
Okay. Is there anything else that I know you mentioned some of these, but for some of the viewers that maybe joined a bit late, is there any other key feedback that you think was very essential for us in Season 1 in addressing and something we addressed thanks to the player feedback? highlight?
I would definitely talk about the rogue plague bringers and the rogues that come after you, right? It was always a plan in the season itself to actually have an antagonist. They are wrecking havoc in the Indian Ocean, and when you are actually trying to build your empire, right, through Helm's help, they come and harass you, and the world actually has a little bit of change. And I think the fact that new players are suffering a little bit too much from it, I think that was where we had some learnings and we got to tone things down a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm still having issues and I don't really know what's going on.
Okay.
It seems to be an echo, but I don't know where it's coming
Is it still with my mic?
from. No, it's just an echo.
Alright.
I don't know where it's coming from. I think, yeah, if you can just make sure you have the mic as close as possible, because sometimes it does cut off and I see some comments in the chat about this.
Let me try to make the game music less loud. Right. Could be their music, so.
Yeah. All right.
Let me just turn it off.
It's okay, Nevan is going to solo the ghost ship.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's so difficult, like streaming and playing. Like, I have a appreciation for the people that do that.
Yeah, so just
And read
for
the chat at the
context for
same
everybody,
time.
yeah, for context for everybody who's watching, Mac and Nevan are playing live, but also watching the chat and trying to answer questions at the same time. So they basically multitasking, which is not always easy.
Yeah, it looks so easy when I see people do it online. They're like, yeah, I see you in the chat, like and subscribe. All right, cool. I'm gonna just take this down.
Okay, one topic that I've seen a couple of questions coming up as well, and it's actually a good topic that we've been discussing quite a lot in the recent weeks, is the balance of the last 10 version of La Peste, basically. So we know that when we released the last 10 version of La Peste, basically, we got a lot of feedback from players on the difficulty. Mac, do you want to talk about this? Like, what have you done about this?
Definitely. So I think we create the La Peste fight for a lot of players to try to take it on. Really kudos to the members of the community who actually managed to take it down. But I think we wanted the boss fight, right, to be actually more accessible to a lot more players. So I think again, pertaining to the point about community feedback and the issues with gear scores and the way players are not able to actually play the builds that they want to because of the gear score system. We're making two kind of like major changes, right? One of it is actually rebalancing of the gear score system to actually ensure that it's less punitive for players who are several ship ranks below the enemy ships. And the other thing is actually something that we did mid-season in Season 1 itself to actually kind of rebalance the gear score a little bit more so that players will find themselves having a lot more options playing the builds that they want to. And in Season 2 itself, I think, with the ship upgrade system that we are providing, I think players should be able to try to build and play whatever ships they want to. Where what we notice right now is a lot of players just went going for the higher ship ranks. So, yeah.
So this is also a good example of something that's ongoing, right? Like the balancing of our world bosses, making sure that players can tackle the content in a group, but also solo. Maybe that's something, Nevan, you want to talk about, how we are trying to adjust that constantly?
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, it comes directly from the learnings with Season 1. We wanted to make sure that we're, accounting for our solo players. We have a lot of co-op opportunities, but we can see that there's tuning for some of the activities that are quite frankly just too hard, right, to solo. And I think as we watch how the game evolves and how people are playing, we want to give more opportunities for everyone to play, no matter how they play, whether in a group or solo. So I think this is like any live game. You look at the content and you watch the data and how players are playing, and you make adjustments. Obviously, we want everyone to be having fun out there and figuring out what works for them, and it's our job to make sure that that's a fun experience.
Yeah, Mike, do you want to add anything to that?
No, definitely. I think it's a very valid point that both the community and Evan has pointed out. Right, we have like a variety of content of different difficulty levels, and there is actually quite a bit of variety. But I think it's actually shut off from quite a big group in our community, like maybe solo players, players who just enjoy having some fun shooting ships down, but they can't actually engage in this content that the team has spent, right, to make this boss fights. So definitely, I think accessibility to this content is actually one of the major concerns for us. So in terms of balance, yeah.
One thing we did as well throughout season 1, and I know it's also an ongoing work, is like balancing the rewards that players get from different events in the world. So La Peste is one of them, Sea Monsters, the Ghost Ship. Is that something you can talk about a bit more, Matt?
Yes, we can. I think. I'm hearing the echo itself, actually.
Yeah, there's definitely a delay. We're hearing it here, and then it comes back.
Yep. So apologies for the bad audio.
I think it could be because you have the stream playing in the background on your PC, Mac. Is that not a possibility?
Not sure.
I'll come and check.
Yeah, I'll try to speak in the mic a little bit closer. All right. So.
Boy. All right. Well, Mac, what are you doing right now?
I am trying to take down the ghost ship with you. We filled the last live stream.
What do you have on your ship? You have the healing?
Yeah, I'm healing you right now.
Bombard?
Yeah. So where were we, Alexi? We were on the balancing topic?
Yes.
Right.
Improving the rewards that players can get from the world events, La Peste.
Yes. So we did actually add rewards to the boss fights itself, but I think, actually for a lot of our world events, we do have good rewards. I think the perception of the loot being bad is because RNG kicks in, and sometimes the good rewards are not shown. So we are also making improvements, right, in terms of the gameplay to actually show what could be the possible loot that players can get, so that they understand that that's not the full extent of the rewards that we prepared for the players actually. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I know that, I don't know if you can say, but I know we're doing some changes. We did some changes actually already with the rewards that you can obtain from La Peste. And I believe we are planning to do more changes with the rewards that people can get from the Sea Monster, the Ghost Ship, and the new content that's coming with Season 2, correct?
Definitely. Whatever is actually also missing in the game right now are some of the blueprints for some of the more exquisite rewards as well, right? We wanted to provide alternative means for the players to actually get their hands on the reward. So sometimes it's not just by direct combat with the bosses themselves. They could be doing combat with the bosses to get materials to craft some of this exotic weapons, armors, or furniture that is in the game. So this is also something that the team is working on right now. And you will see some of these changes actually coming in Season 2 as well.
He's behind you now, dude.
Gonna throw you a heal.
Just reading the chat while you guys are trying to survive. I know there's a lot of questions popping up. We have a couple of topics we want to address, but we will take the time to answer questions as well. Just if you joined the stream halfway through, some of the topics we want to address today is obviously what happens at the end of Season 1 and what's going to happen with Season 2. So I know a lot of people are asking for that question. We will address it. We will communicate on this, and it will be clarified with all of you in just a bit. So please remain a little bit patient, and we'll talk about this in details in a bit.
Soon enough, we will cover it.
We know it's a big topic, and we have a good answer to provide. Hopefully, make everybody happy. But yeah, we'll clarify all this in a minute.
such a sweaty battle.
Mm-hmm.
Question about La Peste. Will he become inaccessible after season 1 finishes?
No, he will still be accessible. We do have a storyline prepared in season 2 that is related to him actually coming back to the region itself. So, yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Well, I mean, I think, at the end of the day, we want to create a playground, right? And so all the content that we put in the game is, of course, going to come back at certain times. And when you think about, like, some of the specific furniture that is required, for La Peste, for example, we want to make sure that there's relevance to that later in later seasons. So I think as we continue to make great experiences for the game, those have an opportunity to come back in future seasons.
So, Mike, there's a comment on the chat actually. Somebody who I know very well, you might know very well. He says, "What happened to Lapis' head?" Basically, he says Lapis managed to overcome decay, right? When you kill Lapis, you get a head. Whose head is that?
Well, that's an interesting question to ask.
So I guess one way is to explain the narrative to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but essentially throughout season 1 players fight against Lapis and his minions and his captains and etc.
They can't hear you, or they can't? Oh, they can't hear you right now.
Can't hear me.
Oh, man.
A lot of issues with this.
Well, meanwhile, while we are fixing Alexi's mic, I do see stuff about like are the devs happy with their silver currency in the game itself. I think if you can hear me, right? I think
Yes, not me.
yeah, this is definitely something that the team is looking to rebalance, and I think in season 2 itself, you will find more opportunities and events and activities around the world that actually give you silver. It's not just turning in contraband that is the most profitable. And also, again, the cost rate of running your manufactories this actually lowered by quite a bit. So I hope that is useful information, I think, for the community to know.
Okay, so I think my sound should work now. No, I think it's only in the echo.
Yeah.
Yay, we did it.
All right. Jeez. All right.
Oh.
Done. Oh, man.
But I think right, look here, right, like we are tuning the silver values and everything to make the players actually not feel that every single session that they log in to play is all about like farming for silver. So if in season 2 we notice that the players are still not getting to enjoy this content, like the team is ready to jump in again to make further balance changes as well. So I think related to Pieces of 8, Sovereigns, Reset, and stuff, I think we'll tackle it a little bit later in the Devstream as the whole topic, right, that Alexi has prepared for all of you. So, yeah.
Yes, I'm still trying to adjust my sound. Don't know why it's not working.
You can turn my sound all the way down.
Well, I do see a question asking about like long guns being all dex weapon. It's definitely something that our insiders have also talked about. It's also something that the team has been looking at. Yeah, we'll come up with a solution for that. We are actually in the midst of like some balance changes, and we are looking at long guns. Definitely the team is actually looking at it. So
Okay, I'll try to keep asking questions. I think they can hear me in your microphone, Mac or Nevin. I don't know. I don't know why my audio is not coming from my microphone.
right.
Anyways, yeah. So what I was trying to explain is a bit of the narrative framing behind the seasons. how when players fight against La Peste, for example, they are trying to protect the trade routes and the operations from the helm. And then, Mike, feel free to correct me if I'm saying something wrong. But essentially, that's why he's coming back, right? That's why in season 2 there's a new antagonist. That's why La Peste might be coming back occasionally. It's you never really, truly, fully defeat La Peste, right? You fight him off, you send him away, basically, but he can always come back.
Yes. Is a very interesting way to answer that. Well, I mean, put it this way, we wanted it to be a token, right, for the players to show that, hey, they brought down La Peste itself, thus the point about the hate, right? So I think having La Peste appear again and having the storyline actually, seeing him intertwined with the season 2 antagonist itself, I think it's the way we are framing a lot of all these fights. So
You chilling out, having a little cove?
yeah, I'm chilling out a little bit, looking at the chat. There was an intense boss bullshit fight. Looking at the chat.
Where do we go? Where do we go?
Yeah.
Take me somewhere. Let's take a photo.
Okay.
Okay, a couple of questions from the chat. How many new ships, weapons, furniture, and armor can we expect to see in season 2?
We do have like good close to 20 weapons, armors, furniture coming in season 2 itself. A lot of those are actually, pertaining to feedback, right? I want to build a fire build, but I do not have enough like gear score for fire bombards, right? Are there alternatives to fire weapons for people who want to build fire builds, right? We are also tackling that while trying to bring some new toys and different ways to play for the players. So I think, within that 20 weapons, armors, furniture, like, I'm not going to give an exact number, right? Somewhere around there. So, yeah.
So you don't have the exact number, but there should be quite a few, right? At
Yeah,
least one
yeah,
new
it's
ship
close to
and
20. It's close to 20.
I saw another question. The chat is going very fast, so I'm trying to scroll back up. Oh yeah, so it's not really a question, but like feedback. It's actually something that we partially addressed in season 1 with the aiming reticle for the rocket launcher.
Mm-hmm.
And the feedback basically says that it's still not good enough. Do you know if there are plans to further iterate on this?
Yes, the team is currently iterating on the possibilities of using the crow's nest as per how we are actually using the mortars. So we are in the final stages of trying to make sure that it works well. Originally, rocket was meant to be a kind of a close range and a mid range kind of weapon. That's why we went for the current field of view. But I think it's still insufficient for players to actually aim very well, and it's not very useful. So, yeah. So it's definitely something we are looking at.
Cool. I see a question that's coming back quite a lot, and it's also one of the main, the most upvoted question on Reddit. What about the third-person camera view? Nevan, is that something you're aware of?
I am aware that there is many requests. So yeah, definitely working on it. I think, these are always things that we have to gauge with performance, right? So we're rendering more stuff to the screen, more animations, more memory. So yeah, I mean, we're looking at that absolutely right now. Obviously, people can point to videos where they've seen previous example of that. But yeah, no, absolutely. It's something that we think is cool, and hopefully we can get in.
So yeah, it's definitely something we brought up, something the team is looking into bringing back as soon as possible. Some viewers are starting to notice some of the new things you have on your ship as well. Like there's a few comments about the pet that you have on your ship, Nevan. Do you want to talk about the new pet from season 2?
Oh man, look at this sick crab. It's awesome. Yeah, I think these are things that the team really loves, and certainly on the there's always new ideas of what we should be putting there. But yeah, I think the crab, the realization came out really well. The skull and the animation looks cool, and so These are the little touches that certainly we get excited about. Hopefully the community does as well.
Yeah, and just to confirm, because I still see some questions in the chat. Yes, the new ship from Season 2 is the Brig.
Yes, it is.
And I think it's the ship that you are playing, Nevin? Or is it
So, yeah.
Mac? Or is it both of you?
We both have the Brig. Or no, I have the Sandbug. I have the Sandbug.
Mine is the Brig.
Yep.
So I'm the one with the new ship. So if you can actually look at my screen itself, I'm using the Brig.
I'm spyglassing you, dude.
Yep. So, you know, the base perks itself improves on reload times, you know, it being actually a support build, you know, gives more benefits to reload time of auxiliary weapons as well. You know, and those are some of the gears that we have.
There's also a few people who noticed the outfit that you're wearing, Mac.
Yeah, like it?
Can you describe what it is?
Oh man, we're going to a party.
Yeah, it's actually one of the sets that we are launching in the season itself. I think a lot of the inspiration, I think it has to tie to the theme of season 2 as well, right? To the French revolutionaries. So.
And then I think, Nevin, you have a completely different outfit, also a new outfit from Season 2. Looks a bit more serious.
Yeah, just a bit. Like everyone loves the masks. No, I think, you know, there's a lot of creativity on the team and a lot of options for us to go with this you know, genre and this IP. So yeah, it's really exciting to see what people come up with, and I think there's a lot of permutations of cool things that we're able to do.
I'm reading the chat, right? So I think there are concerns about the Brig being like another support ship, but I think what we are trying different with the Brig this time round is that based on the spring loader weapons that you actually equip, right? It can take on a healer role, it can take on a DPS role as well. If you actually are equipped with the fire spring loader, it does a lot of fire damage. You can be making a fire build with it. If you're actually using the mines itself, it goes, you know, well to protect you and your teammates in fights, especially for the fight against the antagonist in Season 2 itself. It's kind of a support DPS, I would say, but with the option to heal if you choose to do so, like what I'm doing now with the ship that I have. So I hope it helps to answer some or shed some light for the Brig in Season 2.
Yeah, and if you missed the beginning of the stream, if you're joining, I'll be playing a few videos that we captured before the stream just to showcase a few of the new features from Season 2. For example, the spring loader that Mac and Nevin have been playing at the beginning of the stream. So you get a better idea of how it works.
So, I mean, there is a lot of talk about fleet management. We will be covering part of that in the next part of the stream. But
Yes.
yeah, it's also to tackle some of the issues with the empire management that we have in the game right now. But yeah, there's a whole roadmap plan for it.
Yeah, so essentially, like one of the new things coming with Season 2, just to go back to what we're talking about, is obviously there's a new antagonist coming. We won't show him today unless you guys can find it in the game right now. But essentially, it's the Huback twins, so they're a pair of brothers coming to the Ocean. I won't go into all the details because that's going to be revealed in upcoming trailers and communication. But essentially, those new antagonists are forcing the Helm to change tactics, rework the strategy to building the empire and to maintain the trading operations. But also for you as a player, you'll be introduced to new weapons, a new ship to be able to tackle that new content. So the spring loader is essentially a weapon coming from the Huback twins, if I'm correct, Mac.
Yes, you are correct. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted while trying to
worries.
navigate the storms and trying to get ourselves to somewhere safe. But yes. Generally, I think,
yeah. So what we've shown just now, the spring loader, basically you send I don't know how you call it, a tool that deploys floating mines and will allow you basically to prevent your target from going a certain way or inflict significant damage when he goes through the
Well,
mines.
if we were to go into the details, right? So it's kind of the counter against ships. or like weapons like torpedoes themselves, because like when you're in the minefield, right, that is actually set by the spring loader for like one of the versions of spring loader itself, you do take damage, right? That's the mechanic that is running. So you have to stop, if you're in the middle of the minefield until it times out. That's one way. The other way is actually shoot at the spring loader to explode it from afar. So it's how you actually try to work your way around the weapon itself or whatever contraptions that the spring loader throws into the sea. I think this is something that we are attempting, right, with the spring loader weapon this time around. So yeah.
I'm starting to see, so obviously we had questions about fleet management, about ship upgrades. So I'll be playing a very quick video just to show you a little bit on how it looks in the game. And maybe Mac, you can comment on the video to talk a little bit more about the fleet management first and maybe ship upgrades second.
Sure. So what you see right now is actually what you can do. Well, it's actually showing the
so it's going very fast.
Ships. And okay, so it's a mixture of both in the video itself. But so for fleet management itself, it's just assigning ships that you own, right? You have up to 40 ships that you can build in your fleet. You can actually assign ships now to manufacturers to actually do collections for you. The ships, based on their ship rank, right, are able to carry a certain amount of pieces of it over time. And the moment the manufacturer carries, has enough for you to actually carry, you start your delivery automatically. So there's no more like, hey, I'm going to collect my pieces of it every time I log in, as long as you have assigned ships there. Now, this is just the first step, right, to improve the quality of life for you as a kingpin owner of an empire. But, further down the road, like there will be cases where actually the ships can be used for defense together with you and them sailing with you as reinforcements. Like I think there's a whole lot of stuff that we wanted to build on the fleet fantasy also for our players. Okay, then ship upgrades itself, I think it's one of the major things that we're adding to the game, I think. That will help to address the issues about, like as I've mentioned before, players being to play the builds that they want to play. We tried to differentiate all the, including the brick itself, I think 12 different ships, right? To play differently and to be used in different situations. Some are good in situations where you're swarmed by a lot of enemies. Some are good for like really big bosses with the proper tank, DPS, and heal kind of builds. So I think with upgrades itself, I think small ships, medium ships, right, pick what you want to play, and they will have some differences, right, key differences. And I think one of the key issues with small ships having less gun ports than medium ships, the team is also working on balance changes to cover up for the lack of DPS as well. But small ships will give you, for example, better maneuverability. It will give you a little bit better boost when you're sailing in the wind and stuff like that. So, there's a whole lot of stuff coming in with ship upgrades. Again, in Season 2, we'll be monitoring very closely, the feedback and how we see the players consume the game, and we'll make necessary balance changes as communicated before. So, yeah.
Sure. So a couple of follow-up questions. The first one is, can ships that you have assigned to a manufacturer be sunk?
It can be damaged, right? In the situation that the ship rank is not high enough. So like in the assigned ships category, you have what is called low risk, high risk based on the trade routes that are tied to the manufacturers itself, right? There is a certain ship rank that you need to hit for your assigned ships. But you can repair them, to actually get them back up to shape to do the deliveries. Yeah.
Okay, and I think there was... Oh, my sound is back.
Sorry?
My microphone is back.
Okay, that's great.
I think we need to address a very important topic that's emerging in the chat. There's a cheese request. Like, what's going on here?
I was going to get to that. I think it might be linked to the outfit that Mac is wearing. I feel like there's a connection, but that's just because I'm French. So basically the question, I don't know if Mac or Naval wants to answer it, is can we have cheese as food in the game?
Well, Well, I don't know. I mean, what does the community want here? Do we have a specific cheese we're going after? Do we know what cheese was happening in the 17th, 18th century? I'm assuming a British cheese.
Yeah, it's a good question. Are we talking about French cheese, British cheese, American cheese? Depending on the type of cheese, it can have like some bonuses from crew, but also some maluses, right?
Oh my god, what have I started?
Oh man, I mean, and we do have the right countries in the game for the cheese, right? We've got
Yes.
DMC, Company Royale.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there could be different perks for different cheese. I mean, if only I knew the game director.
My only request is that before we start adding cheese as food in the game, we need to add hippo nuggets. Because I feel that request has been there
Yeah.
for the longest time. Or maybe it's a package.
Yes.
Hippo nuggets with cheese.
All right, I can see cheese as a divisive topic. We'll come back to this. Stay tuned. Maybe in the next deck there'll be a topic dedicated to cheese, and which ones may or may not make it in.
But going back to fleet management, there was another question. Some players asked if you can assign more. No, sorry. If one ship can collect piece of 8 from more than one manufacturers.
This is definitely something the team is looking at right now. In season 2, no, but like we are trying to tie it to, for example, territories. So like if you own a territories with a few manufacturers that's linked there, we are also experimenting if it's actually possible that one ship is possible, right? To actually collect from all the manufacturers that are linked to a territory. So we try to tie it back to the end game. Or the Empire, ownage kind of thing, to tie a little bit back into the map and stuff like that. But this is definitely something the team is also looking at right now. So, yep.
Cool. I'm scrolling back to check because I missed a lot.
Let's do this merchant convoy, dude.
Shall we?
Yeah, I marked it.
Okay, on the way.
Sorry, I'm going to switch back to your game so people can see what's happening.
There is a merchant convoy that is coming our ways. So we'll try to.
Okay, so like I said, there's ongoing questions about what happens at the end of the season. Do we feel ready to announce what we're going to do about the manufacturers, the leaderboards? What was our plan, and how do we move to season 2, basically?
Yeah, why don't we not take down this merchant convoy
And
talk about this topic while you're very distracted.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, essentially the main question from the community is they want to know what's going to be reset, are manufacturers and piece of 8 going to be reset, or like what's the plan basically?
Well, before we communicate that, I think it's important to actually share a little bit of the framing of what Endgame was meant to be. It's just a really simple, high level, right? When the Endgame was first designed, it was designed, behind philosophies of like, I would say a board game, right? That players can play seasons after seasons. Where, of course, if I use Monopoly as an example, right, you start off with $200, and then like every single time I play it new, again with 3 other players or more players, right, it's always $200 at the start of the gameplay. What we wanted to do is actually the Indian Ocean is essentially the board, right? It changes over time, and it offers different kinds of challenges, as Alexi has mentioned before. The antagonists actually come to the region. They bring about changes in terms of economy. They bring about changes in terms of whatever is actually changing in the endgame itself. And the helm is actually providing you means to actually grow your empire differently. But at the end of the season itself, right, things are reset. But of course, the players who have actually sunk in time, silver, actually to run these manufactories. What you gain out of it is basically pieces of 8, which is the more premium version of a soft currency, right? That allows you to actually make purchases on the black market. And there is an even higher tier of the soft currency, which is sovereigns, that you actually can buy even higher grade and more exotic weapons, armors, loadouts, right? In the black market itself. So I think that was the philosophy behind the endgame empire ownage. But again, what we really wanted to bring forward is that by players actually playing this Empire seasons after seasons, they will start to gain something that stays with them in the Indian Ocean itself, and this is something that the team is actively working upon. So season 2, season 3, you'll start to see more of your presence in the Indian Ocean with the new features that we are adding to endgame itself. So yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, Nevan, if you want to add to this. Like, I think Mike explained the design philosophy behind our endgame. What is our goal with endgame as a live service game? What do you want to provide to our players with endgame?
Well, I mean, I think we want to create an environment where people are having fun, first and foremost, right? And give the chance to catch up on content and compete with the leaderboard. And of course, we want content to be accessible for existing players and new players. But this is a community that we're trying to build, right? And we want more people playing, and we want to get people excited about the gameplay opportunities that they have. And so it's important for us to create opportunities for people to get in, catch up, be able to be successful in the product. So, I think first and foremost, it's about having fun and creating a cool community to play with. And I think some of the things that I've responded to really well is when I read online and some of the pirate code that has emerged and how the community is coming together to defeat things. It's great. It's awesome. It's a great place to be. So that philosophy kind of ties into how we build the features in the game.
And then to tie back to that, the framing and what Nevan has shared, right? So to answer the question directly, you do keep your sovereigns, and you do have a little bit of soft reset on the pieces of it that you own, up to 300,000. And based on how well you did in the end game itself, based on the number of manufactories that you actually own, you will earn upgrade parts for the subsequent season, right? Which you can actually do ship upgrades. Will give you a little bit of the head start, like in getting your other ships, upgraded. And actually based on territories that you own. So if you are not aware, right, on the Helm Empire map itself, a few manufactories actually make up what we call territories itself. Based on number of territories you own, actually, you do get what we are releasing in Season 2 called a list. So you do get a world list. You get to pick exactly which manufacturer you want to own, right? And there are 3 kinds of lists coming in Season 2. So we have the world list, we have the faction list, we have the region list. So region list allows you to get any manufactories within the region itself, be it Red Owl, the other one is actually faction list, so if it's you can actually pick a manufactory belonging to any faction itself. So these are the items that we added to the game as well. Again, the community actually has been feeding information like, oh, I hate the fact that I can't choose the territories that I want or the manufacturers that I want. Well, the list will actually give you a more calculated way, right? You can actually see which manufacturers are great, and you can use your world or helm list, wisely. So you can have a good head start, I think, into Season 2. That's the case. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to recognize that we want to reward our most engaged players, right? And a lot of the features and the dynamics that we want to create is that, hey, we want to recognize that investment, and people that have put in those hours, absolutely. You're going to be taken care of, and we're trying to figure out ways to make that dynamic pervasive across our roadmap. So patch by patch, update by update, we're adding things to not just the gameplay but the progression. To keep this community vibrant and fresh and engaged.
Yeah, so just to help everybody in the chat understand, I'm going to show basically an image that's going to give you exactly what Mike and Nevan described, but it will give you a reference on how to understand the soft reset, right? Yeah. I think to summarize what you said, essentially, it was always our plan to reset some elements of the end game with each season. And the way you explain it to me, Mac, is essentially you engage in the end game, you kind of work with or for the helm. They allow you to be part of their operation. You operate some of their manufactories based on those you obtain throughout the season. When the season ends, a new antagonist comes in season 2, and it forces the helm to kind of restart their operation and organize themselves, right? Which is why basically you lose your manufactories, you lose the upgrades on your manufactories, but you keep most of the piece of 8 that you've accumulated throughout the season. Like we said at the beginning of the stream, a big surprise, I mean not a surprise, but a pleasant discovery that we had was the amount of time and the amount of engagement that players sunk into the game and the end game in particular. So that's why we feel like for us to start season 2 on a good start, we need to put everybody back on the same level, more or less. But we also want to reward those who really went beyond our expectations and managed to build their empire bigger than we could have expected, with a little bit of a head start in season 2. So actually, Mac, I don't think we really explained that well the world helm leads and the ship upgrades. Like we talked about ship upgrades. What is a ship upgrade part especially?
So it's actually the item that actually are required to have, right, to make upgrades to your ship. And when you do upgrades to the ship itself, some of them gain a higher ship.
Doesn't seem like we lost.
Yeah, there was I think you should be okay now.
Oh no.
Can you
We
talk?
lost audio and 2 streamers.
I think it's back. Yeah, it's back. It's all good.
Okay.
Sorry about
That's
that.
good. Yeah. So I was talking about a point about the 300k pieces of 8. I think players who have actually accumulated a lot more than that do invest in the weapons, armors, furnitures in the game itself, because they do, right, allow you to equip your other ships that could be used in the end game in terms of assignment. And in future when defense kicks in for the fleet itself, I think the resources in black market and the loadouts that are sold in black market can actually be used as well. So
Cool. So don't hesitate asking more questions on the topic if it's not clear. I can show the image again for those who may have missed it. But yeah, to recap, it's basically at the end of the season, like I said, a new antagonist comes in with season 2, so you are asked by the helm to restart your operation. So you lose your manufactories, you lose the upgrades, you lose the territories as well. But depending on how many territories and how many manufacturers, depending on how successful you were basically in season 1, you'll get rewarded for your engagement for the time you invested in our endgame. And then for the piece of 8, because we want to make sure that everybody's kind of starting around the same level, we are doing a soft reset to 300,000, which means that if you have anything above 300,000, you'll be reduced to that amount. If you are below that amount, then you keep the amount of piece of 8 you have at the moment. And to answer a question that just came in, I can confirm that sovereigns are not being reset. Correct, Mac?
yep, they're not reset.
Okay. I have another. There's another question. I know you talked about it again, but I think some people may have missed the information. What is a helm lease? How does it work?
Okay. It is an item. So you sell to the manufacturer that you really want to own, and there will be an option there for you to actually say, I want to claim a manufacturer, and that becomes yours. So a world helm list is any manufacturer in the world. They will take that list and the manufacturer becomes yours. As I've explained also before, the region helm list is the one that you go to a particular region. So is it the Great Isle? Is it somewhere in the East Indies? You can just go to any manufacturers there, and faction is actually based on the faction itself. So each of the manufacturers actually have a faction, right? So yeah.
Max audio is coming in pretty garbled.
Oh no, mic problem again.
No, it's actually like sounds like interference, like the cable.
Okay. Apologize for the audio issues, guys.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever. There's some interference with that.
Yeah, it's acting up for all of us. I don't know what's happening.
And silver really doesn't get reset. Sovereigns doesn't get reset if that is, yeah, an issue.
Yeah, the sound is pretty bad actually. Let me try to fix that quickly. Apologies for
Chat stuff about, I think, other ways to earn sovereigns other than the leaderboard itself. I mean, while we're trying to make the game a little bit more accessible, I think the sovereign, the ways to get sovereign right now in the end game itself is built in such a way that players don't have to climb the top of the leaderboards at all times to actually earn sovereigns, but it's an interesting topic, right, to have it tied to Smuggler Pass or other features in the game. So, I mean, those are the things that the team is constantly looking at as well. So.
Yeah, I think the audio is still not working.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's happening, but it's I think for all of us.
Can you hear?
So we're gonna just, yeah, we are running out of time anyway, so we probably need to put an end to the stream. I will try to fix this and see if we can come back just to say bye properly. I don't think anybody can hear us properly right now, so. Okay, and we are back. I think the audio should be fixed now.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you guys hear us?
Can you hear us in the chat? Okay, they can hear us.
Okay.
Sorry about that. It sounds like the audio mixer decided to die on us, so that's why we had a lot of issues since the beginning of the stream. But hopefully you can hear me, you can hear Nevin, you can hear Max, so everything should be fine now.
Okay, great.
Great.
Cool. So where were we?
Well, I mean, we're obviously talking about reset.
Also talking about warehouse space. Quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, look, with respect to warehouse space, I can see that blowing up. Obviously, we're looking at that. It's not a straightforward issue. There's data considerations, and when you look at the amount of data that we push for each player in the game, there's some technical challenges there. So it's on the roadmap. It's something we're looking at. But as I said, it's not a trivial issue to solve in a multiplayer game. So something we're eagerly excited about, as well as you guys, and we're working hard to bring that forward.
Cool. You want to say something, Max?
Yeah, I saw something on the chat, right? Black market items rotate for season 2. It's definitely, right, something that is being planned. So, yeah.
I see a comment as well. Why don't we get a bigger map where we can just expand our manufactories instead of starting all over again? It's a tricky question, but I don't know. Maybe something you can answer.
Well, I think I'd explained it at the start, right? We were looking at Indian Ocean for now. Like, I think the expansion of the maps itself will be, of course, when we actually expand the real regions, right, beyond Indian Ocean. But what I'm trying to say over here is like, okay, this is the board, right? This is the problem space every single season. We will try to, well, this is a general direction that we're heading for, to make it easier to actually, do your upgrades and everything over season. And making the right choices on what upgrades you pull or what connections you pull with the helm, right, in terms of the helm upgrades to actually purchase. Those will actually allow you to avalanche, your earnings. And it's a different kind of experience, hopefully, every single season that we can bring to the players itself. So yeah, I mean, that was in the core, right? The thing behind a board game or every single season. So that is a bit different. So
yeah, so essentially, new season means new ways to operate the helm and the manufactories. One key thing that's coming with season 2, which is I think what we were talking about before we had audio issues, is manufactory leases, right, or helm leases. Mac, do you want to re-explain what are the leases? How do they work? Will they change the way people engage with in-game season?
Okay. I mean, thanks to season 1, right, with a lot of community feedback, we do notice players saying that they have no choice on the manufactories that they own. So helmless, right, is an item that was born, and with that, players can sail up to a manufactory that they want to own and claim it. By interacting with the manufactory or the POI, right, the place of interest, be it a resource POI, or be it actually a capital or a settlement that they want to own. And there are 3 categories of those, right, the world version and the regional version, and also the faction version that we have prepared. So what comes with the reset at the end of season is actually the world version, where they can actually pick any manufactory in the world, right, which is within Indian Ocean itself, to own, and they can just claim it for themselves. Yep. So
yeah, and just to repeat what we said earlier for those who may have missed it, another key item that's coming with season 2 is obviously, or key feature I want to say that's going to help players operate their manufactories, is obviously fleet management. Is that something you can tell us a bit more about?
Fleet management, is it?
Yeah, fleet management.
Well, in season 2 itself, you assign ships, right? So you can build up to a fleet of like 40 ships right now in the game. Assign these ships to manufactories, and they can deliver pieces of aid to you automatically. And based on the ship rank of the ship itself, you will see whether it's risky or not risky. Like you see low risk right now on the screen itself. So for a ship rank 10 ship, right? But like recommended ship rank is actually ship rank 9. So it's actually a low risk. You can put it there. It can deliver 500 plus pieces of 8 for you. So when your manufacturer has that amount, it starts traveling to deliver the pieces of it for itself, like automatically. So yeah, that's how it kind of works right now.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but fleet management is only for piece of it collection, right? The ships won't be able to collect bananas for me.
Yes, for now that's the case. Bananas, no, not for now. Yeah.
It's a good idea though. Like if I want to have food, but I can't be bothered having to gather food myself, or I don't want to spend the silver to buy it from a vendor, maybe in the future we'll have possibility to assign a door to go and do that kind of stuff.
Definitely, it's not something that is not planned, right? To actually build upon this term fleet management, right? For the ships that you own to do more over time. Be it defending your manufactories, which is also coming in season 2, right? You have a game mode for defense. So in future seasons, like you see the ships actually doing more stuff for you over time.
Yeah, I think look, as we're watching how players play, we want to obviously get you guys playing what's fun about the game. So less playing the map, the management, and doing more exciting things with opportunities. And there's questions about PvP. Of course, that's something we're still pushing to get more of that content in the game as well. More PvE opportunities. So with every season, we're building more depth. Right, and I know there's a desire like give me the big ships, expand the world immediately, and I think that is obviously something that's coming and that's on the roadmap to do. But we have to make sure that the loop, the dynamic that we have in game is as fun as it can be, right, and that it keeps you guys interested in coming back. Like, hey, what do I want to do today, and am I having fun? That's the focus.
Another question on fleet management. Will we see the fleet in the game, like as when they are assigned?
We are working on that right now. Again, as Nevin has mentioned before, we wanted to make sure that performance is not an issue, right? But we also wanted to make sure that the sailing experience, and the whole experience in the whole world of Skull and Bones is actually smooth for players to engage in naval combat and stuff. So this is definitely something that we know the players would want, but we are working on it right now. Yeah.
Okay, so this is first step. Like first step is managing the fleet, assigning the fleet to manufacturers on our end, monitoring how it works as well, how it, if it works with the end game, how to balance it out properly. Because I see a follow-up question as well is like, can other players attack our fleet? I guess not as of season 2, but maybe in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, we look at every feature. Everything that gets added to the game is not a singular feature. It's an array, right? And the season is just where we slice the feature. But the approach that we take is features are persistent. They continue to get added to. It's not something that we introduce and then leave. Because it has to make sense when we release it in a season and then in subsequent seasons and years from now, right? So when we take an approach to say, we're adding this dynamic to the game and we're now adding this to the meta, it has to be something that we're willing to invest in for multiple seasons. And I think that approach of an iterative design where we get the basics in and then build on the depth is what's going to allow us to, as we talk about, go on this journey with the community.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a point about fleet management, about whether the ship archetypes matter or not. It's also something the team is looking at right now. Only ship ranks really matter, but there are small ships in the game, right, that do better in terms of river kind of a transverse, right, like when traversing. And I think this is also that extra layer that I think the team is also working on right now to make it meaningful, which is why like it's not so much about assigning ships on trade routes right now. It's assigning ships to deliver pieces of aid. But there is a feature that we're also looking at with the team to see if it's meaningful and fun for the players. So, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously we are running a bit out of time because we had audio issues, so we're pushing this a little bit. I feel before we end the stream, obviously we have a bit of time to answer a few more questions. I see a comment from somebody asking if we can repeat what we said about the reset. Is that something you're comfortable talking about again, Mac?
Yeah, I can go through that again. For players who own sovereigns, right? Sovereigns are not going to be reset. Pieces of 8, however, there will be a soft reset up to 300,000. So do try to spend the pieces of 8 acquiring like loadouts, weapons, armors, furniture from the black market or resources. To dress up your ships or actually arm your ships, because to prepare for like season 2 itself, you're probably going to need more than one ship, right, to do the assignment if you're engaged in the loop for the Empire. And based on the number of territories that you actually own, you will gain what we call the World Helm list itself to pick, up to 6 manufactories, right, to your liking. And on top of that, based on the number of manufacturers that actually own in season 1 itself, you do get ship upgrade parts which are necessary for you to upgrade your ships in season 2. So if you like a particular small ship like the Badar, because it maneuvers better, it turns better, try to upgrade that, right, to the rank, and you can actually be playing a small ship, taking down La Peste. So, yep.
Cool. So inevitably, whenever I'm displaying an image basically, right, showing players how the reset is going to work and what players are going to get based on how many territories or manufactories they have. So the obvious follow-up question is, what is a helm lease? I know we talked about it already.
Okay.
So maybe you can explain one more time before we end the stream.
So the only way to actually own a manufactory right now is to partake in what we call the takeover opportunities that is within the endgame loop itself. Now the helm list is an item that the players can lay their hands upon when you own a list itself. So in this case, with the seasonal reset world helm list, you can actually sail up to any location in the world, right? Any manufactory that you wish to own, interact with it, and you can actually claim that manufactory for your for you to actually start running and earn pieces of it for you. And to delete the topic about deleting ships, yes, definitely you can delete ships. I see this coming up quite often. I'm sorry, it just kind of slipped through the gaps. So yeah.
One thing we didn't touch upon that we're seeing actually on Nevin's screen right now is the new death cam. Nevin, is that something you want to talk about since you just experienced it yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think when we look at the game, I mean, our characters are the ships, and kind of in chaotic battles, obviously knowing like who killed you, what killed you. I think it's a cool way to see the AI enemies or the PvP people that took you down. Well, that was quick, obviously me taking out Mega Fort, but yeah, it's another bit that we've added to the game, just as ways to kind of see more of the cool stuff at sea. This is not going to go well for me, clearly.
Yep.
All right. Can we get a sneak peek at Banana's cosmetics? I don't think we have Banana's cosmetics yet. Do we?
No, not yet. So it's something that we can look at for sure, together with
yeah,
people nuggets.
As soon as we have a version of a banana cosmetic, I'll make sure we organize a special stream just for that and show it off.
So I think pertaining to feedback, right, that's going on in the chat about like adding ammo consumables to black market, issues about low tier ships getting a hull increase with upgrading, it's definitely something that the team is really looking at, right, to add more stuff to black market. right? Running the Empire, actually, every single season allows you to earn pieces of aid to let you buy stuff from the black market. So it's definitely something we will be tackling over the season. Answer the question on the low tier ships getting a hull increase. Of course, definitely you're gonna get that, right? We want to make sure that like your ship is capable to take down Lopez, as we talked about. And then yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything else that you guys caught that I failed to.
There's two more questions that I've seen pop up a couple of times. The first one still on the topic of cosmetic. People are asking if we're going to see cosmetic inspired by other Ubisoft title. We obviously Assassin's Creed or Prince of Persia, For Honor. Is that something we're looking into?
I think we're always looking at what cool things we can add to the game. All right, so really kind of depends on you guys in the chat. If there's stuff that you're really excited about, of course, like let's talk about it. But I mean, I think we're always looking at opportunities to do cool crossovers and partnerships, and so there's a lot of cool stuff we have in store coming up. But absolutely, you know, and this even I think applies to some of the comments about armor and color changing. Like, yeah, totally makes sense. We're looking at that as well. I don't have an actual date for you guys, but it's clear that there's opportunities there, right? And we want to give people the opportunity to make their character, i.e. ship, in exactly the image that they want. So definitely things on the roadmap, definitely things that we're looking at. How do we make this work with all the loot that you can get? But absolutely, it's for sure something that we're excited to tackle as well.
I do see some more questions on Endgame itself. I think one point that was mentioned about giving us a base to build from, I think that was the Endgame promise anyway, right? For you to start owning something that you physically see in the Indian Ocean. I think what you play right now in terms of what the Helm offers every single season is just a means to earn the currency for you to actually be able to build that. So this is definitely something that the team is working on in terms of roadmap, right? Throughout the seasons, you will start to see your presence increase in the Indian Ocean, and that's what we kind of want for our players when we're actually trying to sell the dream of owning your empire. So it's definitely something we're working on. So
and on this topic, I know that it was quite a few weeks ago already, but it's something we are very eager to hear from the community. Actually, what are the main things that you want to see us work on and add to the game? Both short term, like things we can easily fix on throughout the season, but also things we can implement in season 3, season 4, year 2, year 3. We want to build this game for many years. So Pirate Dens is a good example. We heard a lot of people say they want large ships, so that's something we always kind of knew that at some point we had large ship, but it's also something like if the committee says we want it now, then it's obviously something we can revise our priorities and see how we can bring this content faster based on what the committee really wants. So it's an exercise that we're going to be doing at least once per season, where we go on Reddit, we go on Discord, and we ask you what are the main things you want to see added to the game in the future. So again, we've seen a lot of great feedback with season 1. We've seen a lot of suggestions coming up everywhere. So please keep it up and continue to tell us what you'd like to see added in the future. There was another question. I don't know if we can answer it. So maybe tell me, Mike. Basically, a lot of people have seen you play with the brig, and I've observed how the brig looks in the game right now. And asking if we can take the cranes off the sides of the brig, or is it part of the design of the brig?
It's part of the design. The way the ships work right now, they are the archetypes. Actually, our art team actually goes through quite a lot of concepts, right, to try to build the archetype itself. Like if you play other RPGs and stuff, right, there are melee characters, there are long range characters and stuff. So in this case, this is more of a support engineer. Again, if it's the brig, actually those are the gears. So there are mini cranes by the side, but the major crane is actually the one on the bark, because that was meant to hold like those safety boats and stuff like that. So yeah. Whether we can remove it, like we did try to go through the path about making sure that it doesn't interfere with the firing of cannons and stuff like that, but it's the identity of the ship itself. So there's very strong sentiments about it, make yourselves heard, and it's definitely something that we will look at to try to address. just like the issues about armors, right, and hiding armors and stuff. Those are the things we are constantly aware of. So yeah.
Yeah, so I actually seen a few comments on the chat about what they call transmog, something that we discussed a little while ago as well, like having the possibility to hide the looks of your armor so you can better display what your ship looks like or the cosmetic you bought from the ship. So I know that's something you're also looking into, right? Cool. Any last words, I think, any last question from the chat that you have picked on the chat that you want to answer? Otherwise, I think we're quite over time already, but yeah, let me know. Never and Mike, is there any last words you want to add to the end of the stream?
No, I mean, obviously, I want to thank all you guys that are joining us. That's clearly a lot of passion and excitement about the product, and it's humbling, right? There's a lot of things that you guys are excited about. There's a lot of things that you guys want in the game, so we're actively working on it. We want to make the best game possible, and you guys are part of that discussion. So 100% thank you for joining us, taking the time today. But yeah, we have work to do, and the team's definitely motivated to get things done.
Thank you, Nevin. Any last words, Mike?
No, other than a very big thank you, I think we will, together with the team, right, continue to stay motivated to make the game like much better and more fun, right, for everyone to play. So I think, yeah, nothing beats that for us, I think.
Well, thank you, Mike and Nevin, for not only being there today, but also being strong allies on all the feedback from the community, listening to what players want and helping it make it a reality in the game through the many patches we've done in Season 1 and the many patches we'll do with Season 2 and beyond. One last word from me is, obviously, this stream is the first time we start really talking about Season 2 in details. We mentioned a few key features that we think will answer some of the community feedback. Fleet management, manufacturer releases, ship upgrades. We hope that all of this will bring more variety to the end game. But obviously, it's not all that Season 2 will come. So Season 2 is coming on May 28th. So mark the date, it's coming very soon. It will add a lot of content to the game as well. So we know players want more content. They want more fights. They want more boss battles. So that's coming with Season 2 as well. I won't spoil all the details. There'll be more trailers coming in the upcoming weeks. There'll be a couple of new dev blogs as well we're going to publish on the website to explain more in details how the end game is going to work, what is the narrative vision for the end game in the long run, and of course there'll be a lot of information coming out on social media in the upcoming weeks. So stay tuned. This is not all we have to talk about when it comes to Season 2. We just thought we wanted to address the key elements that we think will answer with feedback, and also reassure the community on what's happening when Season 1 ends and Season 2 starts with the manufacturers, with the upgrades and the piece of it. So yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. Fanny, thank you very much for your amazing engagement, all the great feedback you shared with us throughout Season 1. We're very excited to find out how you feel about Season 2 and discover all this new content that we have prepared for you. And as usual, we're looking forward to more feedback so that we can continue to build this game and improve this game with the community for the long run. And hopefully, at some point, we'll have both hippo nuggets and cheese added to the game as well. Thanks again, everyone. Thank you for tuning in with the deck, and we'll be back very soon. Don't hesitate to ask more questions. We'll be on social media. We'll read everything. So please let us know what you feel, what you think, and what you want to see added to the game in the future. Thanks again, and see you next time.